If you're at a place in life right now where you're venturing out and doing something unusual, you're taking your first steps on a journey of becoming a new person, you're trying to improve your life ahead of the new year, and you find yourself surrounded by people who are doubting you or discouraging you. In this video, I want to make the case that their doubt and discouragement is nothing to do with you. They're not actually doubting you. They're doubting themselves. Because if you've ever tried to make any positive change in your life, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, which is that there are a tiny minority of people who, the second you begin to change things for the better, will pop up and tell you not to. They'll call you weird. They'll make jokes about you in front of other people. They'll speak behind your back. They will do anything they can to stop you progressing. Right? This is the idea of the tall poppy syndrome, that if you're in a collective of other people and you grow too tall, you shoot above the rest, you're going to be chopped down, not because you're too tall, but because you're making everybody around you look smaller. And it's that idea of your growth making people seem relatively smaller that is the key idea in this. Because think about this. If the people that you consider to be your closest friends are truly most happy when you're stagnating in life, when you're not growing, when you're not pushing yourself, when you're letting life pass you by and wasting years away. If the people in your life who you consider to be closest to you are happy for that version of you to come to the fore, then you really need to ask whether or not they're your friends. But on top of that, if the moment you begin to do something different, whether it is you go to the gym and begin building a new body, you begin learning about yourself to build new confidence, you change job or move location to build a new career, you alter your drinking habits or your finance habits or your eating habits or whatever it might be, you do things that are overwhelmingly positive for you. If those same people only then turn on you, only then begin to cast doubts, only then begin to tell you that people like you don't do things like that, people from around here don't do those things, people from around here don't achieve those things, whatever it might be, you need to realize two things. Number one, their doubt towards you is nothing to do with you. In fact, the doubt that they're projecting onto you is actually a disdain they have for themselves, right? Because just for a moment, think about the kind of person that you would need to be to walk around seeing the world through such a negative lens. Imagine if every time you saw a happy couple on Facebook, you got angry. Every time you saw a friend of yours progressing in their life, you got bitter. Every time you turned on the TV and saw somebody with something you don't have, you got jealous. You would need to be a very specific, a very negative, a very hurt kind of person to do that. And I'm sure you're not. But we're quick to forget when that negativity is projected onto us, the people casting that negativity aren't wise, intelligent, well-balanced, well-meaning people. They are broken and hurt people who want to drag others down in order for them to not have to lift themselves up. Because over the past 10 or so years of life, from running businesses and meeting incredibly successful and wealthy people and connecting with enormous content creators and going out into the world and trying to meet the best of the best, I've realized that people who are better than you never discourage you. People who are ahead of you never discourage you. It's always people who are further behind, who are lower than you, who can't stand to see yet another person roar past them with motivation, roar past them with this vigor and this get up and go that they frankly don't have. And so they find their place in the world, not by progressing their own life, but by dragging back the progress of others. And it's because in some ways, those two things in the short term for the people in question have the same outcome, right? If you're putting everything you can into this new pursuit, into this new hobby, into this new form of self-improvement that you found to better yourself, and you're inching further and further and further ahead from the version you used to be in from your peers, then you get a good feeling of progress. But the same is true in reverse. These people who are doubting you, they have the clearest incentives ever to pull you back, because then they can feel like they're not slipping away, like they're not losing, like they're not falling behind, right? And that's why you need to realize that it's never winners who doubt you. It's never winners who discourage you. It's always overwhelmingly losers. And you need to be careful in this moment, because losers are often very good at spinning a narrative, at explaining to you why they are wise and all-knowing and why you should listen to them. But sometimes it takes months or even years for you to realize that the people who were telling you no in this chapter of your life right now, when you're at the very beginning of what you want to do, as well-meaning or self-actualized or informed as they seem, I promise you, in a few years' time, you will realize that the people telling you no now will not make it. The people telling you no now are losers. And I don't use that word lightly, but they will lose in life. There is a fundamental difference between the two mindsets that we spoke about. The mindset of wanting to improve yourself and wanting wanting everybody around you to win, hopefully that's the mindset you have. That is so incredibly different and will take you on such a different path in life if you give it long enough than those who are on the path of telling everybody no. That those who are on the path of spotting the negatives and calling out the imaginary elephants in the room and telling others not to do it because they can't do it. The people who are doubting you, the people who are telling you no, the people who are holding you back are losers. And it's so incredibly important that you understand that concept, because you need to keep going right now. Right now, what you have on your side is time and motivation and this self-discipline that you have found to even be watching a video like this, let alone being on your own self-improvement journey. And if you go for long enough, not only will you fly past those losers who are telling you no, fly past those losers who try to drag you back to that rubbish life that they're living, but go for long enough and you will meet endless winners. People just like you, people who truly want you to win, people who are going to help you win. But you only get to that point. You only meet those people. You only create that platform for your life if you keep going now. And if you ignore the losers who are telling you that you can't do it, the people doubting and discouraging you, not because of what you're doing, but because of what they're not doing. So don't listen to those people, because they are losers. But if you keep going, then you will win.